Hello everybody, it's John Dunkley, and today I want to talk about how to grow your team basically. And what you're going to hear in Clean Easy is the phrase rods in the pond. Now, rods in the pond is an analogy between fishing and what we actually do. Now in fishing, if you've got one rod in the pond, you can only catch one fish at a time. Okay? If you've got 10 rods in the pond, then you've got the potential to catch 10 fish at a time. If you put different baits on each hook, then you're going to catch different types of fish. And it's no different in this business. We've got different methods of getting people involved in this business. And I'm only going to go through two today, and we'll go through all the other rods in the pond at another time. But the two that I'm going to go through today are very simple, very effective in what we do. And the first, and one of the most important ones, is the little day slip. Now we all put our day slips in, telling people what day we're going to go back and pick our catalogues up. And on the other side of that, we've also got a wanted slip. And what you're going to find is that when you put your catalogues out, you're going to get a few people fill out this part of the slip. And when they do, that is absolutely fantastic, because you can then go along, have a little chat to them. And the good thing is they know it's Clean Easy, they know it's delivering catalogues, and they'll probably be quite an easy sign up. Now some people will come back and say, yeah, but I don't want somebody in my area. Well, you know, that's fine, but if you don't introduce them into the business, they're going to keep looking and they'll join up with somebody else. So you can either have them on your team and help them make money and help you make money, or you can be in competition with each other. So it's up to you, but we recommend having these in because quite a few people in our team have come through this method. The other method that I want to talk about today, the other rod in the pond, is what we call the warm list. Now there's two types of people in the world. There's the people that you know and the people that you don't know. It's that simple. And what we found, or what Clean Easy have found, is that 34% of all the people in the business have come in because they know somebody already in Clean Easy. Now why does that happen? Well, number one, people know and trust you, hopefully. So you know, whatever you say to them, they're going to believe. Secondly, they don't want to particularly let you down, so they're much more likely to stay in a business. Thirdly, they'll duplicate what you've done. If you've brought them in because you've talked to them about the business, they'll then go off and talk to people that they know, and your business can start to grow quite rapidly. And it's very simple, very cheap, and very effective. Now, what you will have had is the success manual, and in the first part of that, it's all about the retail. But the second part, which your sponsor should give you, is all about sponsoring. In other words, getting other people involved in the business. And on page 14, we do have a small paragraph about the warm list. And on page 15, we've got something called a memory jogger. And this is very useful to think of all the people that you've known in the past, or that you've come into contact with. I mean, it's got things like, do you know anybody who's a salesman? Do you know anybody who's a nurse, a surgeon? You know, it's got a whole list of different people, and that will start to jog your memory. The other way that we suggest that you think of people is through something called frogs. And frogs, it really stands for several things. F is for friends. So who do you know that are friends? You know, people that you used to go to school with, that you've got friends as now. Relations or relatives. You know, who's your brother, sister, and so on. Occupation. What job do you do, or what jobs have you done in the past, and who did you meet at those jobs? Geography. You know, you might live in one area now, but you perhaps lived in different areas in the past. Who do you know from those areas? And also social. What things do you do? Have you got any sports or hobbies that you know, do at the moment? And what you need to do, let's take friends for example. Okay, let's say you think of this person here. Who else do you know? Well, let's say that's you. Right, you know this person. Who do they know? Yeah, and then they'll probably come up with a few people. You might know this person. Who do they know? And more importantly, who do these people know as well? So very quickly you can start to develop quite a group of names that you could possibly contact about this business. And you can do it for all these things. You can do it for friends, relatives or relations, occupation, geography, and social. Yeah. So combine that with this memory jogger, you're going to be able to come up with quite a few names. You might even come up with maybe, I don't know, 50, 100, maybe even 200 names. And the important thing now is to get them written down onto a piece of paper. Yeah. Get all the names that you can possibly think of onto a piece of paper, and then once you've done that, you can then start to think about the people that you know that you can contact and the people that you can't contact. So if you've got people's telephone numbers, you know where they live, fantastic. Those are the first people to start with. Okay, so once you've got your list together, you need to start to contact people. Now there's two ways that you can contact people. Number one is the pistol approach, where you sort of pick out one person, you contact them, you allow 3 or 4 days to go by, and then you contact the next person. Yeah, it works, but it's quite a slow method. Or you can do the machine gun approach, where you get 20, 30, 40 names and you contact them all in one go. And what you're going to find is if you do the machine gun approach, you're going to find 1 or 2 people quite quickly that will join your business. Now, how do you contact these people? Well, you can ring them if you've got their telephone numbers, you can write to them if you know their address, you can email them if you've got their email address, you can send them a text, or you might be even able to find them on Facebook. And really all you need to do, let's say for example you ring them up and say, look, give your just say hello then, I've just joined this fantastic business, and I'm just really looking for a few people who might like to earn some extra income in their spare time. Now I'm sure this isn't for you, but perhaps you could do me a real big favour and have a look at some of the information that we've got available, and somebody might spring to mind that you know who might be interested in this. So you're now using what is called the third-party approach. So what you could do, you could either go around and see them and have a little chat to them, or you could send them one of the DVDs, let them have a little look at it, but say that you need it back within a few days. Or, if you want to, you could send them your email address and your website address. And your website address is www.easytogo.com/ and then your account number. Yeah. So get the information in front of people. You never know who might be looking for this business. Don't prejudge anybody. Give the opportunity to everybody, because there's nothing worse than somebody joining somebody else's team simply because you haven't contacted them. So what I do suggest is you sit down for half an hour, a couple of hours, make a whole list of people, and then start to contact them. If you're a bit unsure about that, speak to your sponsor, speak to your gold upline, and they will help you with this. Okay? So all the very best, and until next time, reach for the stars.